But I suppose television manufacturers, at least for the next few years, are going to be diverted into 3D. They're not going to be too worried about picking up a few pence on an advert if they think they can sell 3D TVs for a couple of £1,000. Now, because that presents a challenge to set-top boxes, or does it? I mean,
Actually, I think we talked a little bit about this before. The 3D itself, from a hardware perspective, has very little cost implications, and then from a channel perspective, if you use things like side-by-side or top-bottom, you don't really change the bandwidth requirements. So for a relatively small hardware premium and really no bandwidth premium, you can deliver something that any consumer can see is different and an added experience. So I think it'll roll out almost de facto in all the set-top boxes in the infrastructure, and I think you will see a lot of TVs that pick up on it. Because
but the expense is in the display.
Exactly. So, display or the glasses, depending on what approach you take. So, But it seems like a very natural way, and the quality of the experience now has gotten to the point where I think it'll roll out. The maturity of the cinematography in terms of using 3D, so it's used very lightly. If you look at Avatar or I'm told Toy Story 3, they use it in a very light way to add to the story, not to make it cheesy or to put you off. So I think 3D is there to stay.
It's the natural evolution of TV. It's the next better pictures step. And that will become ubiquitous, is what we're saying.
What we find is the challenge is actually the guide. What do you do with that? Because if you're watching video, that's fine. That's already been designed to be, in 3D. But most guides haven't. So there's a huge challenge there. And
creating 3D user interactive experiences as part of the guide is kind of very exciting if you're a UI guy. But you don't want to put your glasses on to change channel. So and also if you're delivering services across a range of devices, you've really got to work with sort of least common denominator to make sure that the thing works all across all devices.
I'm pretty sure that 3D will be mainly for watching the content and not for the user interface. Moreover, most of the services will be still 2D, and 3D will be some premium.
So it's vital you can switch it off, basically.
But even if you have a 2D menu, you have to be careful how you handle it with 3D content, or you get very strange effects. So you actually have to have depth on where you place your 3D menu. If you don't, you'll actually get weird artifacts happening on the picture. So even in a very simple
someone's using a 2D guide on a 3D TV with the glasses on,
you actually have to put it at you have to put it in front of the rest of the 3D picture, or you have to actually see it to appreciate it, but you get parts of the picture in the wrong place in terms of depth.
The hardware with its different graphic planes and the compositing of the output, I think can probably handle that. When the application, which is the guide, is writing to the pane, which is the OSD, then some compositing has got to happen, which doesn't really affect the author or the design of the guide if it's designed to be presented in 2D. It just appears, like you say, as a 2D plane, maybe in front of a 3D video.
And I think you captured it right. We've got to sense the amount of 3D separation and actually put the guide effectively in front of that, which we do in hardware. We'll do software-assisted hardware.
And can you retrofit 3D to current set-top boxes?
Yes, they're doing that today. So basically, as I say, they transmit video through the same channel. They'll just put right-left and split the frame and put right-left through. And then basically it's processed through the chain as normal video, and at the very end the display takes care of it. The only tricky part is knowing that it's split so you can handle OSD and UI.
But the quality is half, right?
Well, not really, because you're getting right-left images. So it's not quite it's a bit more than half. So the quality is actually not too bad. If you want to get full quality, you can go to what they're using for Blu-ray, which uses MVC, and in that case, it takes about 1.5 times the bandwidth.
Right.
But most people are not willing to spend that extra money, and the quality differences really aren't that.
This is next generation set-top boxes. I mean, all the new chip will support MVC.
Any HD set-top box with the right signal can support a 3D content.
Exactly today.
No, HD, yes.
I actually think of it a bit like, to understand it, for maybe if the audience don't know how 3D works, it's just a different way of splitting up the content. In the old TVs, we used to say our TVs can't do 50 lines at a time, so we'll interlace. We'll do 25 this time and 25 next time. It's still 50 lines, but it blurs together and your eye sees a 50-line thing because we're doing it fast enough so you're not seeing. This time what we're doing is we're saying we're going to separate the picture out into two halves that have parallax, right? And when you put them back together again, you get the same level of quality as you would have had in an HT flat, except we've separated out, but this time the user gets a benefit, right? And the one half goes to one eye, the other half goes to the other eye, and it's perceived as 3D. Actually, it's still the same actual total resolution that you're getting.
But isn't the limitation is the glasses that people need to wear? I mean, this is very expensive.
The glasses, that's the limitation.
It's expensive.
Well, and it's a pain in the neck.
It's exactly.
You lose them. And
Right. Gives them some aspirin as well.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I really think it's a cinema experience. I think there must be something wrong with the technology that fools my brain.
I think if you film it well, if you like Avatar or the people that film it lightly, use light 3D, it's where you put a lot of 3D that
Well, the idea that everything I watch is going to be 3D.
or you put a lot of depth in it, too much depth.
There's a lot of science that's gone on behind this. In fact, I hate to give William Cooper a plug, but if you speak to William Cooper, he knows all the science behind it. Actually, all 3D is an illusion, right?
Yeah, that's
it's not
right.
3D because you can't walk around it and look at the back of his head, right? It's an illusion, and your brain in its lower level areas is actually
Being deluded.
It's being diluted, and that actually takes a bit of brain power.
Exactly,
If the better you do it, then the more natural it is for your brain, and the more easy it is to watch. And it's a science people are learning.
And actually, one way of really noticing that is Avatar is filmed very well for generating a 3D effect even without 3D. So if you actually take one of your eyes and cover it, you'll still get 3D effect because your brain sees the movement and interprets it as a 3D image. And if you try it sometime, it's amazing how good the 3D is looking at it with one eye.
I'm not sure that's an improvement, though, on how Okay, well, we started by saying, a main reason. Now let's complete with a prediction. 3-5 years out, what will a set-top box look like? Will they still be around? And how will the markets look? I mean, what will a set-top box probably be doing in, let's say India? And what will it be doing in the United States? Adam?
Crikey, if I knew the answer to that, I think I'd be retired somewhere very pleasant by now. Set-top boxes will still be around. Growth will have continued. What's interesting, what we haven't talked about, is the convergence between gaming platforms and set-top boxes, and quite what kind of competitive market that creates for the world we operate in. I believe that set-top boxes will continue to be operator-governed. They will provide a broader range of consumer services, so we'll have better access so they'll be used more effectively as a home gateway, a home hub. They will be 3D, we know about that anyway. And the prices will probably sustain, because although the functionality will go up, we talked already about Moore's Law, I think that the prices are going to be constant, but they'll do a hell of a lot more.
I definitely see the hybrid market going stronger. Definitely in the DVB-S satellite domain, having a hybrid satellite set-top boxes, getting more and more content from over the top and adding it to the channel lineup. I think India will go HD probably, and in the Western world we'll go to a home gateway, which is a smart device giving content to your home, plus cloud services, and maybe serving connected TV and set-top boxes in the rooms.
Fundamentally, I think it can be summed up in one word: ubiquity. I mean, this is a fundamental change to television. In 5 to 7 years, every TV will be IP connected and it'll be a different experience. The experience will be consolidated, though. You can sum it up by saying the end game is all the content will be on all the devices, and it's a question of how do we get to that point. So at some stage, you'll be able to get to everything through every device. At the end of the day, what it's going to end up with is a better TV experience. TV is still alive as an industry and as a consumer demand, and as somewhere people spend a lot of their leisure time. It's just going to be better TV. So all that is natural, and it's all going to happen. I think the challenges are around the fragmentation that we talked about. Ecosystems will begin to develop, and there will be small ones and there'll be big ones and there'll be consolidation. So in 5 to 7 years, there'll probably be 4 or 5 major global content delivery standard ecosystem models. Maybe Apple will have one, maybe someone else will have one. And that's really, I think, the bit that's uncertain right now is who the players are going to be in managing the service and the content experience in those ecosystems moving forward.
Excellent. Yeah, no, I think ubiquity is a good word. We believe that it'll be a client gateway model, so that the home will be entered through a gateway. There'll be a home network connecting a variety of thin clients, but also consumer devices, digital media adapters, connected players, your PC, all providing a unified media service with handling all the formats, handling all the different rights managements and things that will be available at that time. And actually the boxes will be a very powerful engine. They'll have probably tens of thousands of DMIPs in 5 years' time and will be much more powerful than your current PC. So I think it's going to be an exciting time.
I think what we see is that more and more people are asking for world products. So the TV world, for example, they just want to be able to ship a digital TV that will work everywhere. Yeah. And I think that's going to evolve into the set-top box market as well, where you'll see the chip being able to handle satellite, digital terrestrial, cable, just as a de facto. It should be in there from the very beginning. So I think that's an evolution we're seeing. I think there's going to be more connectivity as well, particularly from the mobile world. I think we're going to see Bluetooth coming along. LTE is going to play into this world somewhere. And I think this sort of functionality is going to be integrated into the boxes as well.
Thank you very much indeed, gentlemen. Excellent. So the set-top box has a future, there's no question about that, and it's extremely complicated, but potentially also simple, and therefore we can all rest easy. Thank you very much.